Hello everyone, and I would like to sincerely thank you that you have chosen this channel among so many others for your daily dose of entertainment. And I'm not saying this just as an opening phrase, I am legitimately thankful. I can't believe that thousands of people tune in every day in order to watch what I have to say, and hopefully I managed to put a smile on that face of yours. Today I do have something interesting to say, but I don't know if it's going to make you smile. In reality, it does make me sad, but let's see how it all started. Let's provide a little bit of context. We got Nathan J. Robinson, who used to write for The Guardian, a prestigious publication. And Nathan J. Robinson said that there is no cancel culture. The fastest way to get a book deal in this country is to whine about cancel culture. Every single one of these people ends up on their feet. They are fine. They have giant platforms. They are heard loud and clear. Right-wing opinions are everywhere. Now you can point out that this happened during the late 2020s and a lot of things transpired since then. Maybe Nathan J. Robinson has changed his mind. But what's this? This is from this year. This is from February the 3rd. Really would be good if critics of cancel culture defined cancel, because it seems to be a catch-all term that frequently means my opinion was criticized by people on the internet. So this is how it started, okay? Let's see how it's going. I knew that this sort of censorship happened. Did you, Nathan? Did you really? Did you know that this is how it happens? Alright, I have long argued that the most pernicious cancel culture is the one directed towards the pro-Palestinian speech, but I was shocked at how blatant it was. They were very clear I was being fired for criticism of US policy towards Israel. So what did he do? Like, what exactly did this person do in order to get ousted from The Guardian? Well, apparently, and you wouldn't believe this if I were to tell you. This is shocking, okay? He made a joke. Can you believe it? Someone got fired for making a joke, like something that brings a smile on people's faces, something that enlightens the mood. He did that, and he has been now punished by the people at The Guardian. So what was the joke? What did he say that was so horrible and harmful? Because we need to know, right? Like, you don't want to be canceled, do you? So you need to know what are the rules so you can play by the rules. Apparently, he said that the US Congress is not actually permitted to authorize any new spending unless a portion of it is directed towards buying weapons for Israel. It is the law. Or, if not actually the written law, then so ingrained in political custom as to functionally be indistinguishable from law. Seems that he didn't get ratioed. It's not that a lot of people had a problem with these tweets. I read the replies. I couldn't find many people upset about what he was tweeting. And it's the context in which he is tweeting this. It's about the COVID relief bill. The COVID relief bill had $500 million spent for Israel. And then it had I believe $10 million for gender studies in Pakistan or something like that. You know, like a lot of people were pointing out, it's in the name, COVID relief bill. It's like the people in America are struggling and they're the taxpayer. These are the people you're taking money away from. Can you invest it back into America? And once America is prosperous again, then you can start donating to other people. Is this? Well, apparently, The Guardian disagrees. And as such, they issued a statement. And they said that Nathan Robinson has written regularly for The Guardian US, but was neither a staff employee nor on contract. It is not true, therefore, that he was fired. Well, these are semantics at this point. It's not that you stopped working with him because no one wants to read his articles. In fact, from what I can see, he's getting a lot of support. A lot of people are loving his columns. I personally do not know who the guy is. I have never read anything. The fact that he writes for The Guardian tells me what I need to know. But people like reading him, okay? He didn't say anything upsetting within the columns. It's not that an editor found something that they disapprove of within those columns. It's not that because of financial reasons The Guardian wants to stop working with columnists. No. because of something he posted on social media as a joke, this is why you're persecuting him. Because at the end of the day, this is what cancel culture is. It's persecuting people with different opinions. We're going to go back to that. But The Guardian then says that we enter a new political era. Oh my god, like in the last 4 years, we have entered so many things, and we have broken so many glass ceilings that I wonder, like, are there any more glass ceilings to break? Are there more eras to enter? I'm just... Seriously, it's just bizarre. We believe it's important to publish diverse and original voices in our opinion page. So right now, the people at the PR for The Guardian are listening to one song. Do you know what that song is? It's gas, gas, gas. I'm gonna step on the gas tonight. The gaslighting is just off the charts. You know, when I asked if there's any more glass ceilings to be broken, the gaslighting just broke a new one. That's how much gaslighting they're doing it. Like, we have original voice that diverse. No, you don't. Like, you literally don't. You just cease to work with a guy because of a joke he made on his personal social media account. Because of wrong thing. That's why. It's not that he was writing anything that you disagree with. It's not that, like, I mean, you are publishing his works. If you didn't know about that joke, you'd still work with him today. So, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I do not accept. I reject your gaslighting, Guardian. We continually review the range of regular columnists we publish, and we would welcome further contributions from him in the future. Except you don't. Like, they stopped publishing his work. And there are editors at The Guardian, and we're going to see later on, condemning him on Twitter and supporting this decision done by The Guardian staff. And then they use the fact that he deleted the tweets as evidence that he did something wrong. Like, man, this is why you don't apologize. Do not apologize. Like, this is the tactic, okay? Like, I can't believe it. It's been done for years, and people still haven't noticed the pattern. You're going to be accused by something that normal people don't give a fuck about, okay? In fact, you can be accused of something that normal people also do in their free time, like jokes. Everyone jokes, all right? Behind closed doors, when no one gets to listen, I crack the jokes. Yeah, seriously, I do that. I pull the drapes on my window, I lock the doors, and then I start joking. And I feel like such an edgy person. Oh my god, like I feel like this humor level of terrorism that I'm doing alone in my room, when I'm just cracking the jokes, but no one can hear them, so they can't cancel me. And I'm like, all the power at my fingertips. Well, actually, my vocal cords. But anyway, Ram. So they accuse you of something ridiculous. Like, for example, a scientist wearing a shirt. Or a Nobel Prize winner making a joke. Right? And when you apologize, like, people want to defend you. People want to defend you, and they're saying, look, like, the accusation is ridiculous. Like, these people are not just insane, they're criminally insane. Like, it should be a crime to be this insane. We used to lock these people up in mental asylums, right? Just leave them alone. Stop persecuting them. But the moment you apologize, you admit that you did something wrong. All right? And they do not want you to be sorry. They don't give a shit. Normally, like when you were a child and you were at your mother's bosom and you did something wrong to Susie, okay? You stole her toy. The mother would be like, give Susie back her toy and apologize. What was the purpose of the apology? The purpose of the apology was to admit that you did something bad and you will never do it again. Like, that was the idea of the apology. It's like, look, I realize that I have made a mistake. It happens. Everyone makes mistakes. No one is perfect. Except Karl Marx. Karl Marx is perfect. But other than Karl Marx, everyone makes mistakes. Okay? So the idea is like, look, I made a mistake. I'm learning from it. I will never do it again. I promise. And people would persecute you if you did it again. Only then it was even like, and I think this comes from how the progressives call it, like the patriarchy, you know, the Christian culture. Like, the Christian culture allows people for redemption. It allows them to talk about their sins and be like, look, I really regret it. I genuinely feel it. The Christian feels like there's a camera on him, like there's a recording camera that follows him, which is God. And God knows if they're genuinely sorry. And once they apologize, they're supposed not to commit that again, right? Like, they're supposed not to do it again. That's the whole purpose. This is not what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is to put you in front of the masses to apologize, to show that they were right, you knew that you did something wrong, and then they can persecute you. They can then move on with the persecution. They can move on. This is why they're livid. They're salivating. You know, like a dog that has rabies and has like drool coming out and like, that's how they do when you don't apologize. That's why you should not apologize. See, people like myself, when we say like don't apologize, you're going to have like bad faith actors that come on and it's like, oh, V, you say you should never be sorry? It's like, no, that's not what I mean, all right? If, for example, your wife finds out that you have babies with some other woman, you legitimately say like, look, you're sorry, right? Like you apologize to her. You come up and you're like, look, I really made a mistake, okay? I slipped on a banana peel and I fell onto this woman and it happened. I was at the same swimming pool with her. Okay, but like you get what I mean. Like in private, if you genuinely know and you genuinely feel sorry that you have wounded a person, you apologize in private. Because it's between the person that was offended and the person that did the offense. And if you genuinely feel that you're sorry, you literally feel that you have done something bad, by all means apologize. But never apologize in front of the mob, okay? The mob wants your livelihood. They want your job. They want to terminate you. That's what this is about. They want to unperson you. Do you think they give a crap if you're sorry? They don't care about that. So when you ever apologize in public and you're making these public apologies, it's literal admissions of guilt. And to respond to cancel culture in chief, Nathan J. Robinson, from the past, before he got canceled, because now all of a sudden he understands the problem with it. Now all of a sudden he sees the light. But back then he was a little bit in the darkness. He didn't really understand how things are. And to explain to him, when he was saying like free speech means Barry Weiss, Ross Douthat, and Brett Steffens could get to start a blog together, it does not mean that they should have a column in national newspaper. It's unbelievable how many people think civil liberties means newspapers have to publish bad opinions on purpose. Okay, Nathan, let me explain to you how you help create this culture, okay? Back in the day, do you know how the Nazis started the censorship? By burning books. I'm pretty sure we all seen the pictures. It's quite familiar. There's two things here, okay? First of all, the first book burnings that were done were from public libraries and private individuals donating their books. So you can't really make an argument that, oh, well, no, it's the average Joe. I can also make the argument that private people can burn whatever books they bought, and the library doesn't have to host your book if they don't want to. And they started with things like pornography, Marxism, like easy targets. Things that most people in that country agree that, like you don't really need pornography, right? But then it escalated, and then they started burning books about pacifism, burning books that they consider to be kitsch patriotism, like not real patriotism, books that criticize the government or the party, books made by Jewish people, regardless of what they wrote. Like that's how it escalates, you Dummkopf, as the German would say. These are the people that think jokes, figures of speech, are acts of violence because they normalize the grander behavior in society. But they don't believe that censorship normalizes the complete abolition of free speech. You now have created a culture that moves by its own. You're not protected. Before, you were protected. You are a writer for The Guardian. As long as you didn't make spelling errors or factual inconsistencies or, you were protected because you get free speech. Now you don't. And it's not the right that comes after you. Like, this is the most beautiful part. It's not right-wingers or your political opponents or anyone like that coming after you. It's people that are further to the left. And the politicians are the ones that benefit the most from this. Because now they're above criticism. See, at the end of the day, you're not being censored because you're criticizing Israel. It does seem like that, but you're not getting censored. You're getting censored because you criticized the American establishment in The Guardian. That's why you're getting censored. You have the audacity to criticize politicians. Now, they're not going to censor you for criticizing politicians. That looks bad still. In 2021, that still looks bad. What they're going to do is like, oh, you're anti-Semitic. That's why you're getting censored. They use anti-Semitism as a vector to silence you. It has nothing to do with Israel, okay? It has to do with the fact that you're exposing politicians taking the taxpayer money in a time where the taxpayer is desperate, and instead of focusing to help the taxpayer first, they're helping other nations, which, by the way, helping other nations is good. But you'd think that at a time of crisis, at a time of great need for the taxpayer, you should focus on the taxpayer. I'm just saying, like if you're the father of a household and everyone in the household is now going through a rough time, everyone got fired, people are desperate, you taking the last money that you have, instead of fixing the heating for the winter, you're giving it to charity. Noble gesture, but like, shouldn't you have a responsibility of your own house first before helping others? Just a question. I guess this is a problem of morality that we shouldn't ask nowadays, huh? A government by the people for the people, huh? And it's not like that anymore. It's a government by the people for other people. Yeah. No problem being for other people, but like, you should prioritize the person that's paying your salary. Like if you go to a company, your first mission is to prioritize the well-being of the company, right? Like they understand this. Like the leftist understands the idea that a guy working at Apple, his main concern is Apple and not Microsoft. Like they understand this. But if you say the same thing with a politician that's working for a nation and it's paid by the taxpayer, it's like maybe like first you need to make sure that the taxpayer is doing good. I mean, I'm not saying doing well, but at least doing okay. Like at least he can survive before you're thinking about other people. But no, I maybe this is controversial in 2021. I don't know. Like maybe everything that I learned up till now is bad, and I need to broaden my view a little bit. Should read more articles from The Guardian. Maybe they can explain it better than I can. But let's bring up the original art pieces again. What is cancel culture is getting persecuted for jokes and for things that have nothing to do with your job. That's what cancel culture is. Your joke that you made on the Twitter does not change the world. It does not affect the state of affairs. But they wanted to make an example out of you because you criticized the American government. More specifically, you criticized the establishment. You can criticize populism. Definitely, you're not allowed to criticize the establishment. You can't imagine a journalist criticizing the establishment at The Guardian. Horrible. And you created this culture. You literally created this culture that now allows for them to justify that, oh my God, you're anti-Semitic, you're hurting minorities in order to cancel you. They don't care about minorities. This has nothing to do with minorities. Objectively speaking, your joke did not affect the life of a single person, except for yours. Because you created a narrative where jokes have everlasting consequences, where jokes aren't just jokes. Oh, they don't live in a vacuum. And you helped. You were a cog in this machine that created like this massive grand narrative, this grand tapestry, where it's saying that now jokes are a problem. And you know what? Yeah, sure, right-wingers, they were against censorship and they were calling it out. And because of that, they actually created an alternative platform, which is not powerful at this point. It's not big. It's not as impressive as the industries that the left dominates. Well, I shouldn't even call them the left. The establishment dominates because people like Tulsi Gabbard or Bernie Sanders, they're on the outside anyway. So you get like the populist left that's getting pushed away as well. I seen left-leaning, peace-advocating Facebook groups being taken down. It's not a left-leaning versus right-leaning thing. It's just establishment, which represents corporations and businessmen and the rich, versus the populace. Okay, and you on this side chose to be against the establishment in one joke, and therefore... but the right still has like some sort of a cushion they can fall onto because they created it. Like they saw this coming when you were gaslighting the issue. Who's going to catch you now? Where's your safety net? By the way, the right doesn't have a safety net either. It's just like some strings pulled together, like praying that it works, because it's harmful when someone goes through what you're going. But, like you're the person that created it. And it's very interesting that only now you get to see it. Only now, when it's happening to you. This is why I constantly say that everyone should be under the same rules, because if you look at these types of things that happened in the past, the only times they stop is when the people advocating for them have the same rules applied to them. The tyrant always wants to be above the rules. Like they don't view themselves as being touchable. And this is like the problem that you're having. You're being touched now. They touched you. They touched you and you realize that, well, it's not okay. Because you lacked empathy. You looked at other people, you dehumanized them, you're all right-wingers. They deserve it. But you never thought it's going to happen to a person like you now, did you? Hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone. But when you were writing at The Guardian, you were free. You thought you had the finger on the pussy trigger. You thought that you have the pussy trigger and you can command it. Someone else had the trigger all along. You were just a cog in a machine that you create. You created this machine that can cancel people. And now you're getting canceled. Anyway, hope I managed to make you guys laugh. And if you enjoyed it, let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.